Oh, hi. Hello there. Yeah, I'm supposed to do this.
KZMB All Zombie Radio.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Finding Found, the show in which we find things that maybe weren't found on NBC's hit TV series, Found. I have a cohort here. Why can't I get to her? There we go. There we go. Wait, what? Why are you so little? That doesn't make any sense. Hold on. This is weird. There we go. Okay, good. All right. Got it. Hi. I I didn't even finish the episode.
I didn't either.
I just got on. Okay. I was like, so I don't know what I was thinking. It's like I forgot that we were doing this tonight. I forgot that we do this on Fridays. And so I didn't watch the episode before I went to work. And then I was like, oh, shoot, I got to watch it while I'm on break. Tried. Peacock has the most ads. Every episode takes forever to get through. For real. And I'm not paying extra. I'm just not. I just refuse. And so I was like, oh, great. I only have 20 minutes left of the episode. I'll get home. I'll watch it. I get home, start it, ad roll again. I know what happens because I was scrolling Demaine Davis's Twitter. It's the only reason that I know what happens at the end.
So,
Otherwise, I have no clue. So I just got to the part where everybody's like, maybe we're not even going to come back to M&A. Maybe you get arrested and we quit. And then Margaret's like, you put this in motion. You did this. This is your fault. This is your doing. And that's when I turned it on because I literally paused it. It's on my TV is right here. I was like getting logged in, like still trying to like frantically finish it. So what happens at the end of it? Tell me.
wait, my mind just went blank. Okay, so they do all that and they storm off,
Yes, so dramatic.
very confused because everyone was just fine.
Literally a second ago, but okay.
And then in comes Sir. And Sir's like, yeah, you see, I told you those stupid people would you and blah, 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 because I'm the best. And let's go. And Gabby's like, screw you, because the police,
Yeah, of course.
now you're under arrest, you son of a.
Stop it! He got arrested? Oh my god!
Wait,
yes.
there's more.
Okay. All right.
And
Lay it on
then-
me. Well, I saw what
Okay,
happened with
okay.
Margaret. That's the part I saw.
Oh,
Okay. All right, let's go back to the beginning. Okay. Let's go back to the beginning. And let's start from there. Okay. So anyway, thank you for joining us, everyone. Sorry, Takira and I needed to have that talk really quickly. Why are we talking about last week's episode? You may be asking yourself, what's wrong with you guys? It's the 7th. There was no episode on the 6th, you idiots. And to that, I would say, you're right. Did I know that this morning? No, I did not. I have been sick with the flu. I had the flu for so many days. And as you can hear it, it's still happening. And so I didn't watch last week's episode, even though I could have. You know what I was watching? My 600-pound life. That's all I was watching. I just would put that on and then I would like fall asleep intermittently and then have a coughing attack and wake up and then be like, oh, they're still not doing Dr. Now's plan, even though they said that they would. And Dr. Now was like, you didn't do my plan. You were supposed to lose 70 pounds in 2 months. And they didn't. Hi, Dave. Dave is here. Yeah, I've been sick for a week.
Cameo?
David
so
Cameo.
I was going to say, I'm just going to take a wild guess and say that anyone that's watching or will be watching has either been sick for a couple weeks, just got sick, or I'm sorry to tell you, you're about to be sick.
True. 100% true. 100% true. But anyway, so I just laid around and watched that instead. And so I did not watch this, even though I obviously had the time. Just didn't. Anyway, so we're covering episode 11, which aired on January 30th. And it was written by, it was written by Okoro Carroll. Wait, what? Oh my gosh, they have so much information up now. Okay. It was written by Okoro Carroll, our original creator of the show, and it was directed by David McWhirter, who did also direct episode 12 of season 1 entitled Missing While Eccentric, which we did enjoy that one as well. I felt like Missing While Understood was pretty good. Misunderstood was pretty good. We'll get into that. Let's check the ratings because now that we waited a week, we actually have that information. And US viewers in millions is 2.17. So unfortunately, it did lower again.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was kind of like on an upward trend for a little bit with episode 10 hitting the highest, and now it's back down a little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's a multitude of the time slot and then the show missing for a while. People
Taking the
being
winter
thrown off.
hiatus and now
Yeah.
this random week off is like not a super great sign.
Yeah.
I'm worried. I'm genuinely worried. I don't love when they do the break mid-season. Usually it feels off. It makes me worried because they've done that with a lot of shows that they wanted to get rid of. You'll recall that's like a very 90s, early 2000s thing. They used to switch their time slot. Now they would do that mid-year. So they haven't done that mid-year for the show, thank God. But
I'm gonna tell you, I was anti NBC and then Found came out because they had pissed me off numerous times canceling things.
I mean, this is the case with any large network, right? Like, I mean, okay, let me think back. Who was it? Fox that owned
Oh my
Firefly?
God.
Fox owned Firefly and screwed the pooch on that one. That show had no consistency in scheduling, which is why it flopped, even
Mhm.
though it was phenomenally written, and very well acted, and a cult classic to this day.
And didn't they air it out of order?
They did. That's also something they've done. Sliders, I don't know what channel Sliders was on, but that was also given the same treatment. It eventually was purchased by Sci-Fi, and Sci-Fi completed the series. And I use the word completed in the loosest of terms because, ouch, it was a rough ending.
I know that it had multiple seasons, but I just feel like Numbers wasn't treated fairly either.
It wasn't. It wasn't. Anyway, NBC, redeem yourself. Just like figure it out, okay? Even though I just yelled about Fox too. All of you just figure it out. Just don't take away good things, right? And now Netflix is doing it. Like,
They're
just whatever.
ridiculous, pissing
Whatever.
me off.
Whatever. Fine. Figure yourselves out, okay? All right. So the ratings were meh. Hopefully they continue to trend upward. I don't want to lose the show because I have enjoyed it. And there were some things in this episode that even the things that I'm like, I don't like this about the show, they did touch on some of it. Finally. I was thankful for that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up the script for the episode. Sorry, I normally have it up already. And we can get started with what happened in this episode. I enjoyed this one pretty thoroughly, actually. I really liked this.
I just happened to pause it on the like call him trouble one more time.
Oh, that was good. It was good. There were some really good moments in this one. Some really good moments. Oh, not the ad. Oh, come on. Okay. All right. Great. Okay. So the episode starts out with, as always, it starts out with a, okay. That's the intro music, just in case you wanted to know. It starts with a really unusual song. I don't know if you caught on to that. I don't know who wrote this song. I did not look it up. I could find it. I could find it for you. Here.
Now you
Well, we
make
can
me
find
wanna
it.
hear the song.
There's a void in the room. It was like really, it was like very like empty, ethereal vocals. And then there was like, and it was like a silence so loud. So there was like no real like instrumentation behind it. It was kind of weird. Kind of weird. Okay, so nope, that just gave me ADHD posting in Reddit. That's not it. That's not it. All right. Okay, another yep, I can hear literally everything through the walls. Reddit posting. Okay. What's the deal with these lyrics? They're not clicking anything. Was this song written for the show, maybe? For this episode? Maybe. Might have been, because this is like really specific lyrics. Okay, maybe River by Miley Cyrus. Not 100% sure. Anyway, there's a void in the room, a silence so loud it's drowning everything out with just a picture on the wall, all that remains. And Gabby is staring at a wall with pictures on it. So it was appropriate to the moment, I guess. And what wall of pictures is she staring at, you might ask? Because it's not the found wall in the M&A office. It's one at her house. And it just has 4 photos on it. And they're the ones that they've lost. And why have we never talked about this before, NBC?
Mhm.
I don't know. But finally you listened to me, because I was like, this isn't realistic. People die. Sorry to say, would hate to lose a character, but like, probably should happen.
Right.
And they're like, we'll give you the illusion of drama because we'll maybe have Don be shot, but psych, he's really fine. And maybe Margaret will be arrested, but psych, she's really fine. And maybe Lacey will be killed, but psych, she's really fine. And it's like it keeps happening. Finally, this was like, hey, people have died. And I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for giving me that. So Margaret heads into the room and she's like, oh, you have a wall of the people that we weren't not able to save? And Gabby's like, of course. And Margaret talks a little bit about Jamie because she's worried that he would have been forgotten had something happened to her, which she has a whole family, so like that's not true.
Yeah, I'm
but
like,
it's
that's
okay.
so unrealistic.
So dramatic. We love to say dramatic things in the show that are not true, but it's fine. It's fine. And then Gabby delivers a very dramatic line, as though this whole scene isn't dramatic enough. It's like the fallen people that they've been searching for. Margaret's like, everyone would forget my son if I wasn't here, which like isn't true because you have a whole other family who like also remembers Jamie. And then she's like, Trent should have been here by now. Something big must be happening. But since I have been given the gift of extra time, there are others that I need to say a private goodbye to. And I was like, what? Who are the others? Why are you delivering this line like this? It's so dramatic. It made me laugh. It was very funny. Another dramatic song, possibly the same one, maybe a different one. We don't really know. And then there are people at M&A. And at first you're like,
immediately.
At first you're like, what's this family dynamic? Because it's 2 men. And so you're like, 2 dads? Psych. No. Not what you thought it was.
Even when he was like, my son, I still thought it was like,
you were like, gay couple, obviously.
Yeah.
Clearly. Gay couple. 2 gay men and their son. Obviously, they're looking for their son. What happened? What happened to your son? You're not a gay couple. Surprise. They're not a gay couple. So this was a dynamic we haven't seen yet. And I really enjoyed this. I thought this was really cool. This was like a really cool one. I think that's why I liked this episode so much, because one, it talked about it's a marginalized group because we just don't know enough about neurodivergence yet. Right? It's still being studied. There's still a lot out there that people don't know. There's a really big stigma around it, which, as someone who works in education, I have to tell you, like, here's the truth of the matter. I just want to lay this out there, okay? Me as a teacher, I don't care if your kid is neurodivergent. It does not make them lesser. It doesn't make them harder to deal with. None of that, okay? It just makes them different. They just need different supports. That's really all it is. So all of this, like, not wanting your kid to get tested because you're worried about the label that they might get, because that's a lot of the time that's what I hear is like, I'm worried about the label. That's like what everybody's worried about, the label of it. Guess what? That's all in your head. That's all in your head. That's education. We're ready. We're moving forward. We want to help kids. I want them to learn however they learn. And guess what? Here's the real thing. We're all on that spectrum. I'm just going to call it like I see it. You're telling me when my hair is touching my neck and I'm freaking out about it and I can't focus on anything else and I am suddenly extremely mad, there's something to that.
So, I work in a hospital.
Yes.
So I'm constantly around nurses. So my one friend, she's hilarious. She's like a hypochondriac nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And we're constantly asking her how she got through nursing school because she's just unhinged. Like, I'm always calling her unhinged. She swears she has like every ridiculous disease and thing possible. So she's on her phone looking up her symptoms.
Sure, yeah, of course. Dr. Google.
So she's like, yeah, I told my fiance that I could have, I think she said RADS, or I could have this. And he goes, well, have you ever looked up autism?
Could be. It could be. It could be. It's just like the older I get and the more that people are like, this is a symptom of autism. This is a symptom of neurodivergence. This is a symptom of this. I'm like, oh, okay. So like, one, I've never had a unique experience in my entire life. First off, someone else has experienced it, no matter what it is. Two, oh, so we all have it? We all just have it? Well, great. Now that we know that, can we move on? Can we move on from it? It doesn't have to be a thing. This doesn't have to be a big old thing. Guess what? We all learn differently. That's always been the case. That's not new. That's not new. It's just that people are paying attention now. So I really liked this because it's kind of that championing for the like just regular treatment of people who are neurodivergent. Like, okay, you're neurodivergent. Like there's nothing wrong with that. He just maybe doesn't want to be touched. He needs to be able to make the decision. Okay, fine. I've met people like that who are supposedly not neurodivergent.
Exactly.
So, you know what I mean? Just like respect people's opinions and what they have to say about it, and like just kind of take people's lead when it comes to anything. Really, really anything. Sing more? Dave said sing more. Don't worry. We sing lots. Actually, there's like a fair amount of singing in every episode, I would say. Okay. So, Martin and
I said I was going to remember the names and I don't remember
shoot.
I don't even remember the kid's name. Damn it.
TJ's the kid. TJ I got.
TJ is the kid.
TJ's the kid. Okay, so TJ's 13. He's a non-neurotypical child. He doesn't do well with strangers. So he has a hard time connecting with others, these are all like very normal normal things in terms of like a neurodivergent diagnosis, right? Like if we were saying ASD, we're saying autism spectrum disorder, all very normal things. Okay. They would like to help find TJ, and they saw what happened to Elijah McLean. Who is that? Sometimes things happen in the show. You were not on the last episode with me because you stayed late at work, but they had mentioned a show or a movie. Skulls. Lacey had mentioned Skulls, and I was like, what is that? And so I had to look it up. I know. I still haven't watched it. Everybody, I still haven't watched it. I'm so sorry. I'll get to it. I promise.
Oh, you needed me.
I went into a whole deep dive. We looked it up. We looked into secret societies from Yale. It was a whole thing. Anyway, moving on. I don't know who Elijah McLean is.
That was one of my favorite movies. Yeah, I don't know who that is either.
All right, let me look it up. Maybe I'll be given. Nope. Oh. Possibly loosely based on a real person. Okay. Let me stop.
Oh my God.
Let me read it out loud instead of reading it to myself and not saying anything and just gasping. Okay. Elijah Jovan McLean was a 23-year-old Black American man from Aurora, Colorado, who was killed as a result of being illegally injected with 500 milligrams of ketamine by paramedics after being forcibly detained by police officers. He went into cardiac arrest and died 6 days later in the hospital. He had been walking home from a convenience store. 3 police officers and 2 paramedics were charged with his death. Both paramedics and one of the officers were convicted of negligent homicide. The other 2 officers were acquitted of all charges. This happened in Aurora, in Illinois. This was back in 2019. How do I not remember this?
This is what I'm saying. It kind of sounds familiar.
I don't know if this was the reference that they were making. It's not what the transcript caught. It's not what the subtitles caught. Anyway, maybe. My dog is having some sort of conniption. Okay. Yeah, there's not much else here in terms of like what happened.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, was he neurodivergent?
Because that would clear this up for us, right? So okay, someone called 911 because he was wearing a ski mask and he was flailing his arms outside. And then friends later speculated that the arm flailing was just dancing because they believed that he was actually listening to music at the time of the call. He was dressed warmly because he had a blood circulation disorder that caused him to chill easily. And unfortunately, ill-equipped, probably overworked police officers ma'am, I am recording a show right now. Now is not the time.
Yeah, so I just want to also say, again, the Black community. Not that the Black community doesn't recognize autism, but when it's one of theirs, they kind of don't recognize autism. So I'm reading this article and it's saying that his family keeps saying that he wasn't autistic, but that it's a lot of people saying that if you were around him, he was clearly neurodivergent in some way.
Well, and the flailing is often stimming. And so this like dancing that they're terming might have been stimming and could have just been like, if he's just, he could have just been walking by himself, stimming his way along, which should be fine. That should not be. I'm not saying that's a problem. That shouldn't be a problem. And then police officers who, like I said, probably ill-equipped, overworked, and not given the proper training, then do not know how to handle situations like that and behave inappropriately. So there's a lot of things that can happen, and a lot of this is like, again, I have to say a lot of this stigma comes from adults.
Mm-hmm.
Kids don't care. When I tell you, kids do not care. So their friend has happy arms. They do not care.
They don't. Which
It's
they showed in the episode. They did a really good job of showing in the
yeah.
episode. His brother was like, "You don't like to be touched? That's cool."
Yeah. He said, "I think
Okay.
setting boundaries is cool."
Mm-hmm.
Great. Love that. That is good. Good. So it's like a lot of the stigma comes from us.
Yeah.
And that's really the shame of all of this, honestly. Anyway, let's move on. So, it's already been 3 days and they're finally putting together that he's missing. So, great job both of you. Um I love this because they say it's a judgment-free zone, but then promptly Gabby and Don do judge them in this episode. It's like always how this goes. They're like, this is a judgment-free zone. However, what were you doing taking money? And also, how dare you? Um, thank you, Dave, for stopping by. Go get Evelyn. Go get her from the airport. Go get her. All right.
Bye, Dave.
Bye. So TJ's biological father used to be a drug addict. And TJ was exposed in utero in the first trimester, and unfortunately, CPS intervened, took TJ away. He was in the system until he was placed with his foster dad, who I believe the foster dad is Elijah, but right? Not Elijah, Martin. I can't remember. Who cares? Dad one, and dad two. Okay, bio dad, foster dad. That's what we're saying. Okay, all right. So foster dad took him in when he was 10. And he had him for 3 years, basically. And he said it took him a long time to win him over, but that he like worked really hard. Loud noises are sensory overload for him. He's easily triggered, like his anxiety is easily triggered. Change is hard for him. This is all very neurodivergent stuff, right? And so TJ's foster father was paying for ABA services, which is a really big deal. So that's a form of therapy. It's behavioral therapy that deals with like kind of trying to give like children alternatives for self-soothing mechanisms and stuff that are deemed more societally normal. Typically, right? Or like just trying to give them ways that they can really deal with stuff. They usually will come in and work with students in a classroom to see how they do in engaging with other children. So how can we make sure that they're having positive interactions with kids? What are the skills that we can give them to help? So, and it helps them to learn how to self-regulate, because that's usually an issue. Self-regulation may be hard for them. And so it may be like imagine you're feeling really overwhelmed and then everything is just dogpiling on that. Like the lights are too bright and it's too loud in the room and your hair is bothering you and you don't like the feeling of your clothes on your body. And then also on top of that, everybody is talking. And so it's like, it's too much, right? It's overwhelming to anybody. Truly, it's overwhelming to anybody. But in these situations, those children maybe have not been able to pick up. Most kids will pick up social cues from their parents and pick up coping mechanisms in that way from viewing them. But if they're not a visual learner and they can't pick up on the social cues, they cannot see that their parent is self-soothing in a specific way. And so they can't follow suit. So they have to be given and guided towards coming up with a way to self-soothe. That's what this ABA service did for TJ. They helped him to identify his own triggers and then how to self-regulate when it came to those triggers. And then his foster dad learned along the way how to do the same thing. Tracy, it's Martin and Tracy. Tracy is bio dad. Yeah. Tracy and his wife were together. They did have, as we find out, they had not one but two sons that were taken away from them. Unfortunately, the first son, Max, was taken away and it had gone on too long. And the way they made it seem, the way he said that, he made it seem like they just took him away. And then after some time, it's like, you can't get your kid back. That's not how that works. I just want everybody to know that. You do have to sign off rights typically.
Mm-hmm.
So now it can be that like you are not in a place to get your child and you will not be receiving them. And if you refuse to allow a family to adopt, your child will be dropped back into the foster care system. And so in that situation, sometimes it does feel like your hand is being forced. But I will say you have chosen potentially drugs or alcohol usage over your child
Mm-hmm.
for not just a couple months. This goes on for years. This takes years, this process. I've seen it from both sides. I've seen reunification happen and I've been on the other side and I've seen it not happen. And it's taken a long time both ways. So it's not a fast process. I don't want you to think that this was quick. It was not. That is how TJ ended up getting bounced around for a while too. You know, because if mom and dad are reluctant to let him go,
Yeah.
he'll get bounced. And then not only that, but being a special needs child, there's not always gonna be somebody who wants to
Right.
adopt your kid, unfortunately. So, it's the sad reality, unfortunately, of this situation. I will say foster care is a really complicated program. The goal is always unification, and the people who go in on the foster end, that is what you're told when you start your classes. Because a lot of the time you're told like, oh, well, you should foster, like, especially me, right? Like I've been unable to have children. And so like I've looked into a lot of different ways, like, could we go adoption route? Could we do foster care? What does foster to adopt look like? And foster to adopt, when you decide that that's the route that you want to go, you are told like that is not ever the goal. That is never the goal. Reunification is the goal. We want to get mom and dad set up so that they can be ready to take their child back. And it could take 3-4 years. And you might have a baby that you love for 3 or 4 years, but your goal is not to adopt them. It is to make sure that you can help support in that transition back to their families. I have feelings on both sides about that.
Same.
Okay. It's hard because who's really punished in all of that? The child.
Kid. Yeah.
The child. So really I struggle. I struggle with both sides. I've seen both sides. Both sides can be really beautiful. It's complicated. It's really complicated. So that's why I enjoyed this episode so much, because I liked seeing two parents so passionate about making sure that this kid is safe.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's really both of your jobs. It's not about you. It's not about who wins. What's best for TJ. So, anyway, so Martin and oh God, I already forgot it. Anyway, Foster and Biodad. I don't care. Tracy. Martin and Tracy. Martin and Tracy. They're butting heads because Martin is the foster father. Tracy is the biodad. Tracy wants, court ruled that he could have his son back. Martin's maybe not 100% on board with that. That's tough. Again, we just talked about it. It's tough. It's both sides. I get it. Tracy's been sober for 15 months. So TJ ended up leaving because his dad, he had a rough day already, probably had something to do with school, I would guess. We don't get the details on that. And then he gets called into work last minute. His dad does at the garage. That throws off his schedule. One of TJ's stressors is schedule changes. He doesn't like that. He ends up leaving. So he leaves. They don't know where he is. He's been gone for 3 days. What's going on? So anyway, M&A takes on the case. They're going to try to figure out what happened. There's a lot of different things that happens. TJ ends up at his brother's house. He ends up at Max's house. looking for his brother, Max, because he found paperwork in his dad's house that said his name and the address, so he was able to find him. We do find out that TJ really loves comic books, specifically Green Lantern, and that he likes hanging out in bus stations. So, obviously, there's a bus station that Margaret knows really well. Cross routes transport. As it turns out, that's probably the one that TJ went to, because the one around there is that would be the other good option for him, is larger and maybe would be too much of a sensory overload for TJ. So they start with cross routes. Margaret can't go, obviously. Okay. So Margaret stays to work with Zeke, and then Lacey ends up calling CPS to figure out if there are any other foster homes that TJ might have landed at. Don and Gabby are about to go do something, and then what happens? But a phone call is received. Where's Trent? At the hospital. He's not the one shot. His special lady friend is. Guess who his special lady friend is? You don't know this yet, but I am almost 100% sure that is Sir's sister. I'm calling it. I called it last week too. Not last week, the week before. That is Sir's sister. You can't tell me otherwise right now. Why is she framing Christian? Why?
I was like, there's gonna be something about this chick. I don't know what it's gonna be.
It's
gonna be something about her. And like, she came all of a sudden. She knows, like, she knew right away that Gabby was the person, which to me means she already knew before she saw Gabby that Gabby was the person.
Mm-hmm. And okay, so if you look at it from the viewpoint that she's actually Sir's sister, right? Okay, so if we view it from that, she's annoyed with Gabby anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's already annoyed with her. When she sees her, what does she say? Good God, you're beautiful. Like she's like, I kind of get it now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, this is why my brother's obsessed with you. No one has agreed with me on this. No one commented on this and said, like, you're right, Bridget. You're so right. This is my wild theory for this.
No, I like this because also other things from the episode, Christian's fingerprints being where he didn't do that.
Ain't no way.
He didn't do it.
And I'm sorry, Miss Ma'am, you just got shot and you just casually drove yourself to the ER. And when prompted, you're like, yeah, I'm tough as nails. Who says stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Psychopaths. That's who says stuff like that. I'm almost 100% convinced.
Listen, the way we all looked at Christian, because we're like, they birthed one psychopath, they probably birthed two psychopaths. Well, guess what?
But it was too obvious. It was way
Mhm.
too obvious.
Yeah.
This is not as obvious.
It's not. And why not go sleep with heavy boots?
Why not? He annoys the hell out of your brother.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Something ain't adding up. Her
Yeah.
story ain't adding up. So I don't know, but that is my theory for this, and I would love to see this happen.
And then she leaves her pen. What was it?
Her bra.
Her bra.
She did that on purpose to Kira.
Yes.
Ain't no way. That's what I said. I said, you just flap it around in the wind. You just leave like that. You lie. You lie.
I feel like she had an extra bra with her and left it on the couch.
That's what I said. Titties in the wind. Just you lie. You liar. You lie. You knew you left your bra. You did it on purpose. So you had an excuse to go back. We've all done it.
You know, and I'm so mad that I wasn't here last week because I'm like, I just couldn't like put it. I couldn't do it. I just was looking at her like, where the hell did she come from?
Yes.
She's too convenient. She's
Mhm.
too just gung ho and willing to just dive right in, and just
Something's
where
not
did
adding
you
up.
come from?
Something's not adding up. And then also, why did Christian shoot you? And where is he?
Mm-hmm.
Last we saw, you guys knocked him out, and he was laying on the floor of the RV. Convenient.
Mm-hmm.
This is the accomplice. I'm pretty sure. Because we know it's not Christian.
Right.
We know for a fact it's not Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Christian has DID. And I don't even get me started on the fact that is so unlikely. Although Hollywood does like to really cram it into a lot of stuff.
I don't know. I just feel like you said, because we all were looking at him so suspect, because it would have been just the
It's
obvious
too
thing.
easy. It's
Yeah,
too
it
easy.
can't be him. It's
It's a
just
red
not.
herring. It's a red herring. So my thought is that the sister, anyway, this is the sister, whatever her name is, Erica? I don't remember. I don't care. Honestly, don't care. Don't like her. You know who she reminds me of? Andrea from The Walking Dead. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, that was just a little side thing that I just had to go into because it's just killing me. It's just killing me, and I can't wait to be right. God, I hope I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna be so mad. Anyway.
Oh, we better not have to wait till the end of the season to figure
Oh,
this out.
probably. Oh, and also conveniently, it's just a flesh wound, the shot.
Right.
Okay, sounds like you did it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're crazy. And you had your brother touch all over the gun because he's passed out on the floor of an RV. So you just grabbed his hand and touched all over the gun. Or whatever. Anyway. So they tracked down Sir's RV. Sorry, so Christian can't be there anymore. They tracked it down. Sir wasn't there, but the gun was. And then they conveniently got a call about Heather shooting. Her name's Heather, apparently. I don't care. She was definitely shot with Trent's gun. Great. Because she did it herself, because she's crazy. So moving on. It's like, okay, so now where are we? Because now we got to get back to TJ. He went to the bus station. He bought a ticket to Maryland, Montgomery County. Oh, who's there, you might ask? Private adoption, Max. Okay, great. So that's where he went. Obviously, Dad's lying very clearly. Margaret's like, duh, you're lying. Your neck vein is bulging, sir. Also, why is every black man in this episode so ripped? Did you notice that?
I did.
It's like, I don't remember the other dad's name because it is crazy. And when I find it, I will say it out loud. But it's like adoptive dad, like smoking hot, super ripped. Foster dad, also ripped, also hot. Tracy, like kind of ripped for a drug addict and also
Right.
hot. What is happening? What happened? I was like, the casting is ridiculous. Anyway.
Shanola was like, hot black men only, please.
I ain't looking at no trash, all right? So get some good-looking men for me to look at. You started it. You gave me Mark Paul to begin with. I don't know what anybody expected after that. So
where are you supposed to go from there?
Exactly. It's only down, really. Anyway, so very good-looking men, shockingly good-looking men. I'm not mad actually, but like I feel like a creep. So I guess for that's please stop then. So I don't feel creepy. So TJ comes to talk to Max. He gives him his favorite pin. Very, very sweet. Max was super sweet to TJ. It was such a cute interaction. It was so nice. It's like 2 sentences. I could not have asked for a better short written scene. It was great. The dad comes out and he's like, you got to go, kid. I'm sorry, but you just got to go. And he gives him $50 because he's just paying him to leave. It's a whole thing. Anyway, they're like, hey, your son Max is like really great. Why are you just a dirtbag? And like can't wait for your wife to find out that you're lying because whoa, she's gonna be mad. And notice you did not see him again. You know what? Maybe he's on punishment. He's buried in their backyard. The wife said not today, getting the hole. So anyway, more about this lady in the hospital. I don't care about her. I really don't. I just really don't.
Yeah,
the whole thing's the worst. Anyway,
when I was
uh,
remembering the episode, I promise you I didn't even remember her.
I just don't care. I just don't care. But Trent ignores his phone as a result. And so Gabby can't get a hold of him. And then everyone's like, I should have killed Sir when I had the chance. Everyone's like, whoa, 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 whoa. What is happening? There's so many opportunities for him to have died throughout the show. In the past, now, it's too late. It's already happening. It doesn't matter anymore.
Speaking of in the past, if only
Ooh,
Lacey's mom had pulled the trigger.
for real. Okay, so TJ goes to the comic book store that he really likes going to because now he's got $50 to spend. Who wouldn't? I mean, really, you give me $50, I'm probably going to go to the comic book store. So they find video footage and it's like the store got trashed by teens. He's there overwhelmed and he's like, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. The police come and obviously don't know what they're doing. And they put him back. Anyway, he gets put back into the system and CPS decides, I'm going to take you and put you in a group home. And Gabby ain't having it. Ain't having it with the CPS lady.
I mean, that lady needed somebody to slap her one good time.
Well, yeah, it wasn't great. Anyway, she's like, you chose a group home, even though he ran away from it. And he's got 2 dads that you could have gotten a hold of. And she's like, that's not protocol. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's a whole thing. Gabby's like a real badass during this and is like, you're an idiot. And you're incompetent. You're bad at your job and you're ugly and you're stupid. That's not what she says, but she might as well have. And then so they go to visit this house that he was at, okay? And he mostly keeps to himself. But Margaret's haunches are up. Something's going on with this lady, okay? This lady, there's this little kid. He's so cute. Oh my God, he was so cute, Kira.
He was so
cute. Just the cutest. I just loved him. I don't remember what his name was.
Oh, damn.
Jordan. Jordan is also on the spectrum. He has imaginary friends, is what this lady says. She's lying, Miss Christina. Liar.
Psychopath.
Yeah, and I know, I read a tweet that was like, you didn't want to shut down for another year, so you chose the opportunity to go to jail? Are you insane? And I was like, good call. Because those were the 2 options. You could close down for another year, or you could go to prison. Well, you chose prison, so congratulations. Jordan takes Don's hand and he wants to take him outside, and it was just a really cute, exciting opportunity. I did like Christina's approach to calming him down. I have an ASD kid in my class. Same thing. Look in my eyes. Let's take breaths. So that was really great. They calmed down. Jordan was really, really super cute kid, really excited, likes going outside, has supposedly imaginary friends. Spoiler alert, they're not imaginary. There's a kid named Lance who died, and this lady buried him in the backyard. So he's just going outside to play with his dead friend. Devastating. All right. Now Christian Evans has been upgraded to prime suspect in the attempted murder of this girl that nobody cares about. And moving on. Moving on, they go through TJ's backpack. TJ's backpack is filled with things: burner phone, fidget spinner, a very expensive raincoat, printed emails from Martin to TJ that give him an address for a hideaway. I know you're probably on the way to Lake House. The key is in your bag, like always. You don't have to go back. Just call me. What? This isn't a kidnapping. It's a custody fight. So then they realized that maybe TJ went to the Lake House. Did he go to Lake House? Psych. No, he didn't. He's not there. He's still not there. And also now the 2 dads are talking because like they both care about him and they both want him to be safe. And like he didn't ever go to the Lake House. It wasn't Martin's fault. But you know what? Because Margaret's haunches were up, they really needed to get a look at this lady, Miss Christina. Oh, what's that? Miss Christina buried a kid in the backyard. Oh, what's that? She also buried TJ back there? in a punishment box like a crazy person? Why was that your go-to? That's insane.
They needed to put her ass in the punishment box.
Hey, Marcus. Yeah, that should be her punishment. I have to blow my nose. I have to do it off camera because this is just, I can't. Hold on one second.
Oh, hey, Marcus. The letters are so tiny on my screen that I can't really see. And I fell. Okay. I can't really see when people say things because I'm on my cell phone. Okay, don't fall again. Okay, we didn't fall. I forgot where she was. Something about TJ. Oh, yeah, TJ was in the punishment box.
Okay. So sorry. Oh my gosh. It's like, it's bad. Anyway. All right. So TJ's in the punishment box. We don't like that. You know what else, Tahira? I was supposed to order dinner while I was back here and I didn't. So let me do that. You can take over the rest of the episode. I'll be right back.
Okay. So they figured out TJ was in a punishment box. Of course, Gabby ran. They dug him out of the punishment box. They got him out of there. They arrested the psychopath. I really wanted someone to punch her in the throat because who does that? Um, I don't quite remember what happened after that because in my rewatch I had to stop because I started watching it too late because for some odd reason I thought we were starting at 8 o'clock when we never start at 8 o'clock. We always start at 7. But my brain has not been here. So yeah, I'm stuck. My brain just keeps skipping to everyone losing their mind and walking out of M&A, and that's at the very end of the episode.
That's basically what happens next, honestly. That's basically what happens next. So you can go straight to the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. Okay. So the team, I'm pretty sure, is having their meeting that they always have after a case is solved. And it was actually really weird because I feel like suddenly everyone just got really mad at Gabby because, she was about to get arrested and it was going to be devastating for M&A. And everyone's like, you know what, screw M&A. And the last person to leave was Margaret. She did her spiel that she's been doing since the beginning of season 2 about how it was all Gabby's fault, and she stormed out. And then right after she storms out, in comes Sir. And I would really love to remember Sir's exact little speech because he really, really, truly thought he had won and was about to take his wife to lock her in the basement in the other country, which I forgot what that country was.
Remember, somewhere in the Netherlands or something.
And as he's doing all that, she's basically like, yeah, no, we're not doing any of that because you're an idiot and I set you up. And then Trent walks in and says, put your hands in the air.
I love it. I love it. I wish I'd seen it. I wish I'd seen it for myself. It's literally paused on the TV right now. It's probably the next scene. I love it so much. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. And then you got to wrap up the rest of the episode because I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So the cops come in, they lock him up. Gabby has a speech that I really wish I could remember because,
Oh,
she's...
I have the script.
Okay,
Hold on.
good. Because, she says the probably what she's been wanting to say to him for a while now.
Oh, I'm sorry. We forgot to talk about the letter from Christian. Christian did break into Gabby's house and left a letter. And it says, I know you don't have a reason to trust me, but there are things. Why did I move this window all the way over here? Hold on. But there are things you need to know. I didn't do this. I can't explain what's happening. I have to protect myself, but I promise you, Gabby, I shot no one. Christian.
And if
Yeah,
Gabby's like the rest of us, she knows that it's true.
obviously. Duh.
Yeah.
The cops are the only ones that think he did anything. Okay, let me find this. Okay. Okay, it's the reunification portion. I just got to the part where everybody comes back. Tracy and Martin are able to like work out, like TJ's gonna live with Tracy because that's his dad, and
Mhm.
he knows that that's the right thing. But because Tracy phenomenally actually says, if you feel safer at Martin's, you're able to stay there. It's okay. Like I'll make that work. And he's like, no, you're my dad. I'm going to live with you. That's my house. And then he does ask, he's like, can Martin come visit me though? And then he turns to Martin and says, I have a friend and he needs a dad. Jordan's like me. And I thought maybe you could help him the way you helped me. It was so precious. Oh, it actually made me cry. I'm not going to lie to you. I cried a lot during this episode. I don't know. This is what gets my heart, really, truly. Okay, so anyway, and then Max's mother comes in and is like, "Hey, Max is going to have a relationship with his bio dad and with his brother. And my husband didn't mean any harm. He's just trying to protect his family." Like everybody really seems like they're on the up and up. It's like it's all really great. We'll go back to the flashbacks because we haven't talked about any of them.
Mhm.
So let me skip to the part that Gabby talks to all right, they're all having their meltdowns now. Okay. All right. You knew. Okay. So he's like, I've always wondered what my last words to you would be. Turns out it's go to hell. Step back. And he says, you knew. Step back, Evans, on the ground, hands up. Did you really think you could step into my sanctuary, touch my books, my laptop, touch my life, and I wouldn't figure out your plan? That's why I had the cops stay around, staged a fight. My family is now and forever safe from you. It's over, you bastard. Was that it?
Yes.
All right. And he's like, Gabrielle, don't do this. Gabrielle.
In
so
only
the
Sir
so the
fashion.
over dramatic fight that all those lines they delivered that you're like, why? That's so dramatic. Why are you all talking like that? It's because it was fake.
Yeah.
Although they have delivered those lines many times previously, so it's like not that far from reality. All right. Then what happens? What's the big cliffhanger to Kira?
Then, so wait, the one thing my brain didn't put together, she was standing at the bus station, right?
She was.
Okay.
It's like she states earlier in the episode that it's not good for her mental health, and she's like accepting of that it's not good for her mental health, so she's trying to move past it. I think it was probably a moment of weakness. They've talked about the bus station today.
Mm-hmm.
TJ was found. He's a young boy. That must hit close to home for her. She also talked about how Jamie was a little bit like he was hyperactive. So that ADHD and ADD are technically linked to neurodivergence. It's like I'm sorry, they're not linked to ASD. They are neurodivergency. But I would argue that there's nothing ruling them out that eventually we won't find out that is all on the spectrum somewhere
Mm-hmm.
because it's very heavily linked in like mannerisms. So anyway, continue. Sorry, go ahead.
So I just want to say that, and you know what? I'm actually going to rewatch just so I can find the moment that I said to myself, oh, Sir knows where Jamie is.
He basically says it. He basically says it at one point.
I knew. I don't know why, like, I guess in my brain, I felt like maybe he wanted to have something over them to use later
Oh
to
yeah.
say, like, if you don't call the cops, I'll tell you where your kid is type situation.
Yeah.
So I just always felt like he had that tucked somewhere.
That makes
And
sense.
then he came up with this whole, I'm going to fix your team so they don't need you anymore. And so you don't feel like you need them.
But then promptly did not fix the team together. He made it worse.
Worse. Oh,
he
sorry.
literally didn't do anything. I
He
said
made
that
it
during one of the
so much
episodes. I was
worse.
like, he didn't do anything. I don't think you were there for the episode. I think you were at work. But I was like, okay, you're like, I'm going to fix everything so that you can leave. And then promptly does nothing.
Nothing.
Idiotic.
I mean, I knew he wasn't going to be able to fix Zeke.
No. But then he's
I
like,
just,
yeah, he like tries to get him to get out of the house. I mean, we were hopeful, but
yeah.
nothing happened. And then he doesn't find Jamie and he's like, yeah, everything's fixed now. And it's like, but nothing is fixed, you absolute idiot. And also then you're like, surprise. Also, Trent, your dad's a bad guy, maybe. Mhm.
Yeah.
What?
Is that?
Where did that come from and where did it go? I have so many questions.
So, okay. I always said to myself, we're going to get to a point where there's absolutely no way the show continues to make sense without him being caught.
Oh, yeah. No, it couldn't have.
So it was weird to me that he was caught and we still didn't hear anything about Jamie, because I knew in the deepest depths of my soul that he knew where this kid was.
Yeah.
So she's standing at the bus station and up walks a teenager.
And he just
And
says, "Hi, Mom," all
Mhm.
casual, like that's normal or something.
Now, here's my thing. Was there recognition on her face?
I don't know. Was it really him, or is
Right,
this some crazy scheme?
right. Like, I
Mm,
feel like he put something in motion because he thought things were going his way,
yeah,
and now I don't trust that that's
yeah.
Jamie.
That's I hadn't even thought that, honestly. And now here's the thing. And then they're like, and also surprised you don't get an episode next week.
Yeah.
So there should have been an episode that aired last night, the 6th of February. There was not. I looked it up to find out why. Like, I was like, is there any particular reason? There's no reason. There's just not an episode. So yeah, it's a little bit weird. Like, I thought maybe I was like, okay, is it because of the Super Bowl? Maybe because that's airing this weekend, but this airs on Thursday, so that doesn't really have anything to do with that unless they shifted other content. But I don't know what aired in its stead.
Did SVU air?
Did they have did they have an extra long episode?
That's what let me see.
I have no idea. That's a problem about watching things on like streaming services is I don't know what actually would have happened.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I'm looking at NBC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. So none of them aired. Oh wait, no, this is for Friday. No, I need to see. Dang
It's
it.
weird. It's weird. Like I said, I wasn't really sure about it. It is unusual.
Something. Special victims unit episode guide. So they didn't have an episode this week either.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So everybody took a break. So I don't know why that is though. I don't know what the purpose of that is.
That's weird for it to
It
be
is
a
weird.
week.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a break. It's a random break. Nobody's really sure why. It just exists. Okay, let's just go back to really quick. The only thing we missed are the flashbacks. There were not many of them. It was 2 flashback scenes, if I'm correct. Maybe 3. I feel like it was only 2. So Sir has been standing outside of Bella/Lacey's bedroom for like weeks now. And he comes in and Gina actually has a gun and pulls a gun on him. And they have a little conversation. And I do like Gina's conversation with him because she just says, like, you're not the smartest person in the room, dude. You're just not. Because he's like so pretentious. And she was like, I studied you. Of course I did. You ruined my life.
Mm-hmm.
which I also loved that because it's like, yeah, of course you would have. Um, and then it drops off essentially with like she sets off the house alarm and he runs with her gun, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
He took the gun with. So it's like stealing guns is like definitely in his repartee. Um, we then get a scene later and it's like Lacey, it's Bella and Gabby looking through a book of names because Gabby's going to go to college. Lacey and her family are going to move and they're changing their names in the process to get away from Sir because Sir has said like you have to get out of here. Like I will essentially I will not rest until you stop ruining my life because he's a drama queen for real.
I love that I was very like Lacey's backstory, even though I feel like we get as much of it as we get of Gabby.
More maybe.
But I've always felt like it was given to me in bits and pieces, and I was still just missing way too much of it.
Well, like we didn't know why the name changed. Like why was she Lacey all of a sudden? They never talked about it, so it was nice for them to finally talk about it.
Well, yeah, because I thought after a while, I'm like, okay, so, she couldn't deal with being treated like fine china by her family and she left. That's
Yeah,
kind of what I thought after a while. And
yeah,
then her mom was in seat in, certain episodes, and I was like, okay, so she didn't run away from her family. Then I was just extremely confused. So
yeah.
now I'm glad it's finally cleared up that it was the whole family that changed their
Yes,
names and moved away
yes.
from everybody.
All of them left. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so Gabby got her fresh start at college, and Bella was going to get her fresh start with this move. Now
Hmm.
that means that they are separating, and that is sad, but that was going to happen anyway because Gabby has to go away to college.
Hmm.
And so at this point, baby Bella says thank you to Gabby. And this is the first time she's spoken now since she was taken. So it was a nice kind of like little resolve. This was like an unusual episode to have this resolve in,
Hmm.
it's kind of unusual, but nice. I'm happy to receive it finally. So we've kind of been able to piece that together now. So I don't know where flashbacks go from here.
Yeah, I was gonna say the reason why it was odd to me is because we're in the middle of the season and it's
And
almost
now
like,
it's kind of wrapped up that portion
yeah,
of the story. So, yeah, it's like we're not going to get much flashback wise there, but we could for Gabby going away to college, she's going to be by herself. So, and we know that Sir follows her there.
hmm,
She has that suspicion, but she doesn't get confirmation of it until like season 1.
but didn't Lacey also feel that she was continuing to be watched,
She
or was
did.
that
So,
just
I don't know if
her?
that's but the assumption was always that that was in her head.
Right,
It wasn't. So now we don't know where to go from here.
right.
Really. So, yeah.
Although he did, okay, I think I might need to have to do a rewatch because I'm remembering he had to figure out who Lacey was. So he either stalked her without realizing her name, or he really
Yeah.
couldn't figure out where she went.
Yeah, he would have had to do more work for Lacey because he kidnapped her out of a park. I mean, Gabby, he knew that was his student.
Mm-hmm.
He knew her family, he knew her name, her address. He had all of that information readily accessible to him. Lacey, he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have any of that. He just picks her up off the street. Okay. So that was Missing Well Misunderstood, which I think I would argue was one of the better episodes of the season so far.
Yeah.
A lot happened. We got a lot of movement. The side story was really cool. It wasn't like kind of, sometimes they're like meh, sometimes they're like okay, or like I don't care about the person or whatever. But this one was good. I really enjoyed this one.
I really enjoy the ones that like I haven't seen in another show. I haven't seen in like a true crime
Mhm.
episode, you know.
Yeah. I like when they pick like an interesting aspect from the marginalized topic, like when they pick somebody that you're like, "Oh yeah." That, I don't know. That to me is when it's like really cool. It's like when you haven't really thought. It's like it gives you new perspective. So I appreciate that when they really like kind of dig down and come up with something really cool to go over. This was a good one. This was one of them. But we liked well, and it was written by Okoro Carroll. That might be why.
Oh yeah.
That might be a
Yeah.
big aspect as to why. Because it's written by the show's creator. I mean, the show's creator has written the best ones, the pilot, the
Mhm.
second episode, which was Missing While Sinning. She also wrote Missing While Forgotten, which was the season finale of last season. Missing While Bait, which was the first episode of this season, and now this one as well, Missing While Misunderstood. All of those have been absolute bangers. Every single one of them.
You know, I'm wondering also if they're just trying to get ahead of the growth spurt that we know is coming for little Bella, like in reality.
Probably to some degree, yeah. Because the kid, the kid actors don't last long in terms of looking like they need to. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so next week, so I actually have the information for the next 2 episodes, if you can believe it.
Hmm.
Now, here is the question. Is the 13th episode the final episode? Do we have the numbers yet?
Wait, wasn't it? We're not getting 22 or whatever
I
it
don't
is?
remember because we talked about it, but then I didn't ever see what the official number was. Did you?
Oh, I feel like I saw Shanola say something
Okay,
about it.
maybe she did announce it. Maybe it was announced and I just missed it. Because,
Uh,
I haven't been great this season
Me
at all.
either. And I'm watching so many freaking things and then work and all the
Yeah.
stuff that's
And
going
being
on.
sick and everything else. Yeah.
It's been insane.
Now, I assumed that we were getting more than 13 because the note is still at the bottom of the page that says Mark Paul directed one of these episodes of season 2, and we haven't gotten that yet.
Okay.
And it's still not announced, even in 12 or 13.
Trying to see. I remember the announcement before, but now I really don't remember what they said, but I do feel like
It's
Shanola was like
Well, it would
22
be
episodes.
22. I was going to say it would be 22 most likely if it was going full season. All right. So if that's the case, then we've got many more weeks ahead of us. But next week will be February 13th. So the day before Valentine's Day, we'll be receiving a new episode entitled Missing While Misidentified. So I have a feeling that that's going to have something to do with like maybe someone
In the trans
trans
community?
community. That would be my guess. That's what that seems like to me based on that name. But these names have proven me wrong before. So I don't really know because sometimes it ends up being something completely different. This one will have been written by Sanae Hoffman, who did Missing While Perfect in this season, as well as Missing While Eccentric in season 1, Missing While Homeless in season 1, which we also liked. So some really good episodes have come from Hoffman. The direction will come from Nick Hill Panese, who directed the first episode of season 2, also directed Missing While Forgotten of season 1, the last episode of the season, also directed Missing While Addicted and Missing While Widowed. So a veteran director for the show. And so that'll air on the 13th. Now, the information I also received is for February 20th, which we normally don't have that. That will be entitled Missing While Grieving and will have been written by Jennifer A. King, who wrote Missing While Difficult from the beginning of this season, as well as wrote Missing While Addicted in season 1. And then will be directed by Kelly Williams, if I'm not mistaken, has not directed any episodes yet for us in the show. Kelly Williams is an actress. And director, best known for her roles as lawyer Lindsay Dole in The Practice, which was on ABC. Psychological and deception expert Dr. Jillian Foster on Fox's Lie to Me. Because do you know who Kelly Williams is? Margaret.
I was gonna say, why does
Yeah.
her name sound
It's Margaret.
familiar?
Yeah, it's Margaret. So, so Margaret will be the director for that episode, which is really exciting. And yeah, if you haven't watched her in Lie to Me and you do love Margaret and you want more of that content, Lie to Me is very similar. Very, very, very similar. I think it's why they picked her to play this role of Margaret, because it's essentially the people she works with in Lie to Me. It's not as much her forte in Lie to Me, but the people she works with are really good at it. Anyway, Lie to Me is a great show. Honestly, I kind of want to rewatch it. If I can find it online, I might start it tonight, because that is a good one.
It is really good.
But yeah, Kelly Williams will be the director, so that's exciting. Yeah, so 2 more episodes. We're back on normal schedule. And God willing, we will be on a normal schedule.
Right.
So moving forward, again, we should be here 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday, the Fridays following an episode of Found, barring any more sickness, work, anything else that's happening, because our lives are crazy busy, but we do enjoy covering the show.
And the camp weekend.
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully it'll wrap up by May.
That would be...
Hold on, let me see. Let me take a look at the calendar.
What is
All right.
this?
The 13th episode will be on the 20th. So that would be 14th would be then 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd. Yeah, it should be ending in like April.
Oh, okay. I had
Now,
no
if
time
there's
to
a
see.
week break in there, which there could be for like Easter holiday, I don't know if they do that for TV. If there is, it would push it into like early May, but it should be done by the time we would go to camp. So,
Okay. I don't know.
oh, Jermaine, I didn't even see you. Hi. Jermaine said, "Hey guys, unfortunately I didn't watch the episode. Just thought I'd come on and say hi." Hello. We miss you. Yeah, so anyway, thank you to everyone who popped in and said hello. We've missed you guys. I'm sorry that we've been so erratic in our scheduling. We do enjoy covering the show. We do still love each other. We are still friends. We do still talk. I'm so sorry that we've not been around. We're not beefing or anything. It's not that. It's just that we've been so busy. Tahira moved halfway across the country, got a new job, has new friends. She's too busy for me now. But also no, I took a different position at work. I am now in the classroom. My life has been really busy also. It's just been crazy. So we will continue to show up for you guys as often as we can, God willing, and the creek don't rise. We will be here 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next week for another episode of Finding Found. We are excited. We can't wait. This season's getting good.
That cliffhanger, man.
But anyway, everyone take my theory and just let it sit with you. Okay. Rewatch the episode even and see if you notice, because I've thought this the whole time and something about her ain't adding up. And her behavior is leading me to believe that is the case. So just think about it.
I like this theory.
I'm not saying I wrote the show, but I wrote this show. Just think about it. All right. Anyway, we love you guys. Thank you for being here. We've missed you so much, and we hope to see you next week. Same time, same place, same channel for Finding Found, where oh my God, it did a thing. That was insane. Wait.
Right?
It's just because you're on your phone.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, it was your phone. Mine's not going to do it. That was cute though. Anyway, we'll be here for another episode of Finding Found, the show in which we find things that maybe were missed on the show Found on NBC. And we love it, and we love you. But we love you more. Like, obviously. The show's all right, but we love you way more. And we'll see you next week. Who?
We also love Evangeline.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, I have to tell you, I've been watching Dark Winds, because we got approved for screeners for Dark Winds for season 3. And so Squawking Dead might be covering it. And there are so many elements of that show, because obviously it's very heavily rooted in indigenous culture, that have kind of brought True Detective to mind for me. And then I always think of Evangeline. But for this show, it's
Wait a minute.
ah.
I don't think you told me Richie Coster was in True Detective. Was Richie Coster in True Detective?
Was he?
I feel like someone told me that recently.
I just recently watched something with him in it, and I can't remember what it was.
Um,
Hold on. It was a show. Hold on. Oh, it was just on the tip of my brain.
Watson.
Nope, that ain't it.
Oh, okay.
It was a really good show. Okay, let me think. Hold on. Tulsa King? Tulsa King.
Maybe it wasn't Richie Coster. Now I don't remember.
Tulsa King.
what he
Tulsa King.
was-
Richie Coster was on Tulsa King, which is the show starring Sylvester Stallone that's on Prime. I think it's a Taylor Sheridan show. Taylor Sheridan did
Oh.
Yellowstone.
He was in season 2 of True Detective.
Oh, girl, I didn't watch that one. I tried. You know, it's the anthology style. Like, you're sold on Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, and then they try to do a switcheroo on you. And I don't want a switcheroo. I want Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, and that's all I want. That's all I want. I just want more of that. Still, to this day, that's all I want. Really. I would just watch them hang out on TV. Like, if that was the thing, it's just like a video camera showing them, the two of them talking, fine. But anyway, all right, we'll go now. We'll go now. All right, we love you guys. We'll see you
Love you
around.
guys.